What's up, Cubers? My name's Kenneth. Today I'm going to solve the 3x3x7. This has quickly become one of my favorite puzzles. I really like solving this. I think it's a ton of fun. So I really want to show you guys what the solve looks like. So let's scramble it up and we'll get started. So scrambling the puzzle, first I scramble it with the top and bottom layers really only, without shape-shifting moves. Then I move in a layer to the top two and bottom two layers. And then I scramble it like that for a while without shape-shifting. And then finally, I kind of really start scrambling that inner 3x3. And doing that will give you a fully scrambled 3x3x7. And the funny thing is I actually solve it kind of in the very opposite way. So first I'm going to solve the inner 3x3. Then I move out one layer to the top and one layer to the bottom to solve those next kind of middle two layers right outside of the 3x3. And then finally I move out again to solve that top and bottom layer. So yeah, that's kind of how I solve a 3x3x7. I'm going to kind of give a walkthrough of what I'm doing here. But first, like I said, I'm solving the inner 3x3. So to do that, I just solve it the way I would solve a normal 3x3, which is probably different than the way you solve a 3x3. I solve it with a kind of corners first method, and I've solved the left corners and 3 of the left edges. And now I just solved the right corners, and I've switched them over to the left side. So now I can solve those left edges as well using kind of a keyhole method. And then finally I can solve the left and right edges, the final two edges on the right and left side. And all that's left now is that middle layer. And I can solve that middle layer pretty easily. And then the internal 3x3 is solved, which it is now. Once that's solved, I can now move up and down a layer, and I can solve those layers like it's a 3x3x2. And I kind of just ignore those middle 3 layers, the 3x3 in the middle, because it's not going to be scrambled that much, just doing 180-degree turns across the 3x3. So I can just totally ignore it. But then again, I do have to go back and fix it. So it's probably not the most efficient solve, but it's not so bad. So the way I solve a 3x2 is I actually will solve the top corners first. Then I'll solve the bottom corners. Then I move the edges that belong on the top. I move them to the top. And then I move the edges that belong to the bottom. That's actually the same step. And then I can permute the top layer edges and permute the bottom layer edges. But moving the edges to the top and bottom actually isn't really necessary here, because you don't know what edges belong on the top and which ones belong on the bottom, because there's no sticker there. But that causes a parity, which I actually run into right now. And so the parity is actually not really parity, which I was corrected in a previous video. It's actually a false equivalence issue. So I didn't know what pieces belonged on the top and which ones belong on the bottom. But the parity kind of will let you know whether or not you kind of got it right or not. So anyway, now the parity's over, I can move to the top and bottom layers and solve those in the same exact way as a 3x3x2. But now I do know what pieces belong on the top and which ones belong on the bottom. So that makes it a lot easier. So now that the top and bottom corners are done, I can actually do that. I'm moving the white edges to the white side, and which brings the yellow edges to the yellow side. And now all you have to do is permute those edges, which is pretty easy. It's just an up 2, right 2, up 2, right 2, up 2, right 2. So it's not very hard. That'll permute the top back and the top, the up front and up back edges. And it mixes up that center layer just a little bit, but we can fix that at the end. So now the yellow side, all I have to do is permute 2 more edges using that up 2, right 2, up 2, right 2, up 2, right 2 move. With some setup moves, and then all that's left are those long middle layer edges. So that can be done pretty easily, and then the puzzle's solved. So yeah, that's how I solve a 3x3x7. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of walkthrough of it, and definitely let me know what you think of the video in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really like this puzzle. It's been a lot of fun. So if you're interested in this puzzle, definitely check the link in the description. And that's it. Thanks guys for watching. And of course, have a great day.